Hello everyone, Diogo Tadini here for the Weekend Filmmaker. Today I'm telling you 9 cheap things that every filmmaker should have. So the first item that, in my opinion, is needed by every filmmaker, regardless of the project, is tape. Tape, whichever tape it is. This one is actually quite a good tape. It's a new way of shaving. Yeah, so tape is really important. If you're on the set, you can mark the position of your actors, you can tape things to your lights, you can do many things, many different things with tape. So tape is the number one of the list. Oh, and with the tape as well, normally you need to tape all your cables on the floor. So health and safety is really important, so tape helps you with that as well. The second one is Velcro. Velcro is quite important, fairly cheap as well. When it comes to cable management, this is, I'd say, my number one to go. For example, when I'm operating my crane, I have HDMI cables and power cables running from one side to another on the jib arm. So I need to basically Velcro all the cables around maybe 4 or 5 different times just to keep everything in place. So that's our second cheap item of the list. Third item of the list is elastic bands. And these are pretty famous now, especially the red ones from Think Tank. They are amazing. I use them to actually cable tie my cables, for instance. Like, normally it's faster than this, but just because I'm on camera, it's quite difficult. So wrap it around, rest it together, organized, brilliant. Choke in the bag, done. Job done, is all good. So that's our third item on the list. Fourth item on the list is a notepad and a pencil or a pen. You would be surprised how much these would be useful. I know that you have your phone, you can write things on your phone, but having this in your pocket is very useful. So as it says, field notes, so you can quickly take notes of things, that setups that you have. For example, if you have to measure the distance between the camera and your talent, or how high the camera is, or anything really, a notepad and a pen or pencil will save you to do that. Fifth item is small case. You can use small pencil cases as well, transparent ones. You can organize small cables, small plugs, or as I do with this Think Tank one, I do put all my audio gear here. So I have one for cables and another one for like microphones and other things. They're really useful. If you use them properly, you should be able to keep your bag really organized. So pencil cases or this style of case, they are very helpful as well, especially when it comes to organizing your gear. Sixth item is spring clamps. These big boys or the small ones, they are very helpful. If you have to, for example, flag your light, maybe hang some cloths on your windows to block the light, or maybe to add some diffusion, these big boys here are really useful. And obviously the small ones are also useful for perhaps more delicate things, delicate materials. Both of them are really useful and you can get them pretty cheap. Hardware stores, you normally find them. So, and obviously Amazon, they're cheap and very useful as well for your production. Our seventh item is a reflector. This one is pretty small. Folds. Once you fold it, it's super small. 5-in-1, so you have diffuser, a white side, a black side, a golden side, and a silver side. You can have it for different uses. I normally use, for example, let's say, because I don't have a fill light here, so just to give you an idea, so you see that it's quite dark on this side of my face. So if you add a reflector, that's the white side, so it's bouncing the light onto my face. That is pretty useful as well if you need to, if you're lighting someone and they need some fill light. This adds a soft and very pleasing light on the side of your talent. You can also use, for example, the golden one. It adds a more yellowish kind of light on your talent, or obviously the silver Or if you want just diffuse the light that you have, if you don't have a diffuser already, or if you want to add one, you can just strip this down, just have the actual middle bit, the skeleton of the thing, and you're gonna have a diffuser. This one is pretty small. I also have a bigger one. Both of them are super useful. It really depends what you need it for, but both of them really help you on your day. The 8th item is sandbags. These ones are pretty useful if you have light stands or boom poles that you need to counterbalance, and or anything really, even a normal tripod that you think that someone might just trip over and then just the whole thing will collapse. So at these, I have a smaller one. I have a few of these, and I have a smaller one as well. I normally put weights. I don't put actual sand, but if you rent camera equipment from places, they do have sandbags with actual sand. So sandbags are pretty useful and is worth adding to your kit as well. And our last item, I think that is probably the cheapest of them all, extension cords. You see, I removed the Velcro from them, so they're not really tidy. But extension cords, I have 2 multi-plug ones, and I have one that is just like a really long extension, so I can daisy chain them together. And I have obviously more plugs near me. If the nearest power socket is quite far from where I need to set up a light, for example, power cords are really useful, and they're pretty cheap. That's our 9th item. And I know that I told you only 9, but actually 10. Every filmmaker also needs a kitten. A kitten is very important for your shoot. Lulu. No batteries, nothing required, only food. And these are my 9 cheap things that every filmmaker needs. I'm sure this list will help you with your next shoot. Obviously, you don't need to get everything. Slowly, you build up your kit. But I think that these items will definitely help you in your next shoot. So again, you don't need to get everything, but they're really, really important. Let me know in the comments below if you do have any of them, if you do think that they're useful. They are useful for me. And if you have anything to add to the list, just add them to the comments below. It's good to share with other people what we think is important on our daily basis. For me, these 9 items are really helpful. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell just to get your notifications ready whenever I post any videos. And always remember, plan, shoot, edit, repeat.